Oh no, have you heard? Count Dankula has been found guilty of being grossly offensive. What has the world come to? What are we gonna do? There's no free speech in UK. Well, you'll be surprised to hear that there's no such thing as free speech in Europe. There just isn't. You just can't be a Nazi in Europe. Which is... I guess it's a grey area whether or not it's great. Because, well, I think it's not great, obviously. I think free speech would be good, but evidently free speech isn't vital for the success of a civilization, because you're gonna be watching what you say anyways, because you don't want to be the biggest asshole in the world. But Count Dankula is, well, he may be a bit of an asshole, but I love him. I love his content. He's really funny, and I like the Nazi Pug video a lot too. It's really entertaining. You should find that video and watch it, and you should, like me, I binged his whole channel back then, and you should probably do that too, because it's really, really cool. It's like a Scottish PewDiePie who doesn't give a shit, or something. But now he might be facing prison time. We'll know in like a month, I guess. It'll be announced what his sentence will be. But really, he's just been found guilty of living in the worst country ever, because what he did was pretty much obviously a joke. I mean, I suppose the fact that he was yelling gas to Jews could be taken offensively, right? But well, I mean, can you make fun of the Nazis and then yell that stuff at your dog? Is that a way to do things? I mean, I think so, because I thought that video was hilarious. Even though watching it again now, it may not have aged as well. But if you haven't seen like the character assassination or anything else, then it's a funny video. If you the way it escalates slowly from him just being being a dick, and then he's being a Nazi, and then oh no, the dog has turned out to be a Nazi, and it just like, I think it's done decently well comedically. He's done better videos in the time afterwards, but that one's still good, and it was taken down by YouTube. Imagine that. And people are complaining that Twitter is censoring everyone, but they forget that YouTube does it too. YouTube has taken down that video. That video would at least be making him money at this point, or I guess maybe not, but who knows. Well, it would definitely make him money if people watch that video and then they watch other videos of his that are monetized, then that would make him money, and just fame in general is good. So taking down that video, that's definitely not nice, YouTube. But I guess companies are gonna do censorship because they wanna make sure to make more money, and they probably don't want to risk offending anyone. So it makes sense for companies, but it doesn't make a lot of sense for the country to step in and then arrest comedians for making Nazi-related jokes. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that makes sense to me. But I also don't think there should be anything to arrest. I don't think it should be illegal to have opinions, no matter what they are. But I guess, well, I'll talk about that in a bit. But for now, let's talk about Twitter, because there's a lot of people that talk about Twitter and how terrible Twitter is, and how Twitter is sabotaging itself by engaging in these social justice warrior tactics. And it's nonsense, of course. What are you talking about? Twitter is a company, they can do what they want, and their success isn't really dependent on whether or not they allow free speech as much as you would think. I mean, obviously there's some people who get really triggered when they get censored, or when they know someone else is getting censored. And I personally think it's offensive that people are getting censored. I think censorship is offensive. But then, that's just a few people. Most people don't care. And then there's some other people that think that there should be even more censorship. So, it's silly that some people would think that that Twitter is losing money because of censorship, that the stock prices have gone down because of censorship. That's not how things work. You don't sell your stocks because you don't disagree with the politics of a company. I mean, I guess you would, but not if you want to make money. You don't engage in emotional thinking like that. And then someone else has said, oh, but now they've just bought these stocks because it was low, and now they would hope that the stocks would go up again. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit speculation. People, they don't care about the censorship of Twitter. Twitter can do what it wants. I like Twitter, alright? I use Twitter a lot. I mean, I didn't use it much back then, but I use it a lot now, and it's great. It's an entertainment tool, just like YouTube. And YouTube censors people every once in a while. I mean, what are you gonna do? And by the way, I mean, I like to see all opinions, alright? I like there to be free speech, but there's an argument to be made that it would be acceptable to limit speech. Because you gotta limit speech anyways, right? You can't do death threats. That's a thing, right? If you'd make a death threat, you might get arrested. So, hate speech, what is hate speech? I don't know, if you say we must exterminate the Jews, then that would be hate speech, right? But is it also a death threat against all Jewish people? It really depends, and then you don't know what's gonna happen. I guess you can make the slippery slope argument about accepting hate speech, because Hitler laid out all of his programs about the Jews in his book, and yet people allowed him to get into power, and people were reluctant to declare war on him for a long time until he's gotten just too outrageously greedy and evil. And he could have gotten away with it too if he had just played by the rules a little more. So eventually it was good that these people were rebelling against his hate speech, even though it wasn't necessarily against any laws at the time. Or I guess it was, but I mean, I guess it depends what you say. But anyways, Count Dankula, he was a comedian, and I think what he did should be protected by free speech. But yeah, should Nazis be protected by the free speech? I think they should be, because I don't think that arresting them for a year or two is gonna do anything. You know, Hitler was arrested for 5 years and he came back and it didn't do anything. But he was arrested because he violently assaulted the government, so that was justified. But what would happen if you had arrested Hitler without a cause? Do you think that would have given him a stronger victim narrative? I think it may have. So if you had arrested Hitler, what would have gone wrong? What would have gone right? It is very difficult to tell these things. But we know that you can get arrested in a lot of Europe for making offensive Facebook posts, even about hate speech, I guess, or not even about hate speech, just hate speech. You can get arrested for hate speech, and Europe's doing fine. Europe is potentially even doing better than America. I guess the jury's out on that, but we'll see. And obviously, even within the terms of legality, you still don't want to say just any thought that comes to your mind. And if you have this example of this guy getting arrested for doing something offensive, I guess he would be less offensive. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I mean, for me, obviously, I like being offensive, right? I made The Binding of Isaac. It was supposed to be one of the most offensive games that we could imagine, but no one got offended at it. And then both me and Edmund, we just became complacent and we didn't want to be offensive anymore. And there's a bunch of words that Edmund wouldn't even use anymore. He was concerned about using the word retard. Apparently he used it once on Twitter and then he got assaulted by a mob of annoying Twitter people online. Not assaulted, I guess. I guess he used the word tirade. So anyways, he censors himself. Everyone censors themselves. And Edmund, he had a website called thisisacryforhelp.com, where he had dead baby jokes and genital mutilation jokes and like the most disgusting and offensive stuff you could think of, and I fucking loved it. It was great. But now it's all gone from the internet, isn't it? I don't actually know if I guess he made a CD at some point. I wonder if that has all the most grotesque stuff on it, or just just offensive enough to be entertaining, but not actually the part where he has where he drew a dick that's getting cut in half. I don't know if he has that on there. I guess I should check it out. I have that CD somewhere. So now, do we try to offend? Do we have too much to lose to offend anything? I mean, back in the day, we just wanted to make offensive stuff for the sake of it, because we didn't want to play by anyone's rules. But now we gotta play by rules. Now we gotta pay taxes and everything. And I made a big mistake at some point. I made a bunch of political videos at some point, and that was a stupid idea. God, she'll wish someone would have told me not to be offensive about things like that at some point. Oh God. Because, as it turns out, it's a really bad idea to do political videos, especially if you've got a fan base that isn't based on that. You could lose half your fan base, or maybe more even, I guess. Which I guess I didn't lose too much, but who knows? It may have affected me badly, and I don't even care anymore at this point. I don't even care about the politics I cared about back then, because, oh boy, and then I went on a huge rant about how socialism is destroying society. What a fucking idiot. Of course I would say something like that. This is exactly why I need to censor myself. Oh boy. But anyways, it's fucking insane. All of the parties, all they do is just try to appeal to the lowest intelligence possible, because they want to make sure that their message is understood by everyone, or not understood even. Maybe they just want to trick you into voting for them, so they push up like a single slogan of what they're gonna do, and then it's very indescriptive of anything. You got the big Make America Great Again, which apparently everyone didn't like. It's completely retarded. How could you possibly take offense at making your country great? How stupid could you have to be offended by the idea of making your country great? It doesn't even say make the country the same way it was. It just says great again. And there's people that say, oh no, we had fucking slaves in the history, and we don't want to go back to those times. And it's bullshit. It doesn't... You don't want to go back that far anyways. What Trump's saying is that he wants to make America into a country that's more powerful than other countries, which it was in the day, but now other countries have caught up again. America used to be amazing. They went to war against Nazi Germany, and they were a deciding factor in suppressing the Nazis. And that's the kind of stuff that was great about America. It had freedom above everything, and well, it was really good in the economy. It conquered Europe, and then it supported Europe so it can rebuild. It was great. It did a lot of good stuff in the world. How could you possibly look back at your history and be offended? Did you know that Native Americans had slaves too? The history is a bloody place, and everyone killed each other all the time. Well, what's a thing that we can objectively say is that America had a good influence on the rest of the world, and it was a leader. It was a great country back in the day. How could you possibly be offended at the idea of making America great again? Oh my God. And it's such a simple concept. There's not even a single thing that you could criticize about making America great again, unless you're a complete revisionist idiot. Wait, this sounds fairly offensive again. Oh my God, am I gonna have to censor myself again? Nah, I got this. I got no stake in this horse. I don't care about Trump or Obama or anyone else. Obama is the same thing. He was completely unoffensive. He just wanted to bring healthcare to America. It was such a simple concept. And how hard could it even be? You guys have you don't have healthcare? You fucking idiots. The whole world has healthcare, and yet America doesn't have mandatory healthcare. Yet America spends more money on healthcare than any other country. How fucking did you manage that? Privatize my ass. Just get healthcare properly. I don't know if Obamacare was good. I don't know if Trump care's gonna be good. Who fucking knows? But something needs to change, and you're gonna need proper healthcare that costs less than your bullshit libertarian crap that you've got going on, where everyone can choose to be in healthcare or not, and then people go into into debt because they couldn't afford the treatment they've been given, and the country's not gonna pay for it. Oh my god, what a stupid concept. And Trump, he spoke out against Obama. He fucking criticized Obama at every turn, and he even required there to be a birth certificate of Obama. What a fucking unhinged lunatic. Fucking asking for a birth certificate of the president? What bullshit. And it was necessary too, because this stupid two-party system just requires you to be constantly at war with each other as the only way of getting political momentum. You gotta be an asshole the entire time if you're gonna get elected. And that's what's gonna happen now, isn't it? No more dignified presidents. Everyone thinks they're on one side or the other, and the other side is completely terrible, and they're so much more dignified. But what do you really know about your side? I've seen right-wing echo chambers, and I've seen left-wing echo chambers, and they're all so fucking cocksure of themselves that they're doing the right thing, and the other guys are terrible. My god, how could you possibly think that way? It's so stupid, and it's so easy to fall into it too. I got into right-wing politics because I grew up with a lot of silly left-wing stuff. So I had to swing the other way for a little while just to get out of the mindset. And now, well, then I fell into the trap of actually believing some of it. Not a lot, mind you, but it's just so easy to get offended at these social justice warriors. Just like the other side is so easily offended by the Nazis. And I even saw that at one point that there was no such thing as Nazis, but there's a literal Nazi party in America, or a Nazi movement, a nationalist socialist movement, and they were all there in Charlottesville, and then there were the Antifa there. They were a little bit violent too, for sure. It was all this whole war where there's one side and the other side. And what do they even fight for? Who knows? And it doesn't even make sense. You can't possibly fight over opinions. You can't possibly have a culture war. It's so retarded. Culture is peace. You can't have a culture war. Oh my god. What's the point even? If you're not going to be honest, it's pointless. You're going to fight and fight and fight, and the way you fight is by lying. And both of the sides are guilty of extreme lies. And there's skeptics, and they're only skeptical of the other side. There's so many people trying to debunk the other side, and it's not working out because none of them's very honest, and the only one who's in the middle is Count Dankula. He knows what's going on, and all he wants is freedom. Well, I guess everyone wants freedom for themselves, but do they want freedom for others too? Who could even tell? You still want to have the utopia. You still want to have people. You want to have society, that's the word I'm looking for. You want to have humans, and you want to have more freedoms for humans than ever. But you gotta watch out, because there's not gonna be a lot of jobs, and we might be approaching the end of scarcity at some point, but for now there's still gonna be resources that are finite, and there's more and more people, and less jobs, and it's gonna be hard. And there's gonna have to be some kind of things that happen. But, I mean, ideally nothing would happen. That's what I'm saying. But it's possible that there could be some kind of communist or Nazi uprising at some point. And that would be bad. And if you've got laws that prevent that, it could be useful. Could also be pointless, though, because if there's enough people that think that way, then they're just gonna do what they want with force. Not sure if there's a point in arresting these people, because they're just gonna They're just gonna have a stronger conviction if you arrest them. Oh God. What did I say about not talking about politics? Jesus. So yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to socialism. It's just that I'm seeing that all the parties are essentially the same. It's just that the nationalist parties, they want to spend the welfare more on the people that live in the country, while the globalist parties, they want to import more people and then also give them welfare. So basically welfare is to be had by everyone, and the details, they're minute and they don't really matter that much, because you can't stop immigration anyways, and if you did, then that would be tyrannical probably. Oh wow, Jesus, this rant has gone somewhere, hasn't it? Well, tell me what you think. Do you think free speech is the most important thing ever? I mean, I like free speech, but I also see that I definitely have to censor myself, because just to be successful, I have to be more careful about what I say. Or maybe not. Maybe it's fine now, because maybe now that I've got this ascended view of the world, maybe now I can speak it freely. But back then, when I was just like, you remember that Trump video I did? I was really hard on the liberals at that point, because they had predicted that Trump would fail, and then he was elected. I mean, that was at the time of his election, so they thought Hillary would win for sure, and I was a dick and rubbed it in. That was a mistake, that video. Even though I still like Trump, I think Trump's generally doing alright, and I think he's just slightly better than Hillary, at least. But I wouldn't be worried too much. I think it doesn't matter anyways, because the pendulum swings as it does. You get a Republican president, and then you get whatever the other one's called. It's always one and then the other. You just gotta look, it's always blue and red, and it's just alternating, and nothing ever changes. And there's still drone wars going on, and not even sure if there should be. Don't know if the wars are needed or if they're not needed. It's hard to tell. Who could even know about these wars? If they're justified or if they're bad? I have no idea about all these things, because I've not even been dabbling in foreign policy for ages. I'm just on the internet, and you mostly hear about internal United States politics there. I'm mildly interested, but also it's probably all. It doesn't even matter. Trump may do some kind of like legislation, and then the other president's gonna abolish it when he comes, and he's probably gonna be from the other party. They're just gonna go back and forth the entire time. And is it important to be behind your president, or should he be? Is it important to make fun of him? I mean, I guess either way is valid. Even though I don't know if everyone making fun of him is really good for the Constitution. If everyone just makes fun of the president, I think that just gives your country a bad image, and you probably should stop it, but whatever, I guess. People were doing it with Obama as well, but I guess not as bad as Bush and Trump having it done to them. Oh, well. Jesus. Well, anyways, free dankula and goodbye.